what we can expect from them in the future going forward. So basically, they have decided to side with a murderous regime for some short-term economic benefits. Taiwan is a stable, trustworthy, and reliable partner. And although having official diplomatic relations with Taiwan is always beneficial for that country, hey everybody, welcome back. My name's Nathan, and in this video I'm going to be talking about Honduras and why this country made one of the biggest mistakes a country could possibly make. Honduras and Taiwan have had strong and friendly diplomatic relations for over 80 years. But just recently, these diplomatic relations came to an abrupt end. Honduras made a shocking announcement that has far-reaching and significant implications for many countries, but especially for Taiwan. Although this announcement didn't come as a complete surprise, it was still a little bit shocking for myself and many other people here in Taiwan.
我们终止了跟洪都拉斯的邦交。长久以来，我们秉持的信念就是在我们最大能力范围内，透过前瞻务实的做法。
Taiwan has always been loyal to Honduras, and one might say that Honduras has benefited a lot more from its relationship with Taiwan than Taiwan has benefited from Honduras. So, how does Honduras switching its diplomatic relations from Taiwan to that of China actually impact Taiwan? Well, it's no secret that China has been sabotaging Taiwan's diplomatic relations, and China has been gradually but consistently picking off Taiwan's allies one by one over the past few decades. Of course, this type of situation is not optimal, nor is it preferable. However, it's not quite as bad as it might seem. Taiwan and the Taiwanese people are incredibly strong, and I don't think it will have a very long-lasting and irreversibly negative impact on Taiwan. Initially, it might sound quite bad for Taiwan, but in reality, Taiwanese are tough, innovative and productive people. One thing I've learned about Taiwanese after living here for so long is that they always make the best out of a difficult situation. In fact, many powerful and more important countries than Honduras have unofficial diplomatic relations with Taiwan. For example, the United States, Japan, Australia, and many other countries in the region. Of course, from a reputational point of view, it's better to have official diplomatic relations with more countries. But there are certainly benefits to having unofficial relations with other powerful countries as well. And yes, Taiwan is incredibly powerful. Statistically, Taiwan packs a punch far above its weight class in regards to its military power, global exports, and its economy, to name but a few. So why did Honduras actually make this decision? Well, it's quite simple really. Firstly, I don't think it's personal from Honduras's point of view, but for China, it is a calculated, personal, an intentional move aimed at further isolating Taiwan diplomatically. The problem here is that Honduras has fallen for China's stick and carrot approach. This is when China offers incentives for good behavior, which really means if you do what your CCP masters tell you to do, we will reward you with as little as possible, but just enough for you to agree to obey us. However, if you do something which we do not like, we will punish you in a variety of ways, including and most probably economically. A lot of countries fall for this, but soon realize that they made a grave mistake.
But there are allegations of worker exploitation, environmental damage, and so-called debt traps.
However, by the time that they realize their mistake, it's too late because China has already sort of set up a presence in that country, or that particular country has become too economically reliant on China, and although they could sever diplomatic relations or do things that might upset China, there will be heavy costs incurred if they did that. In the long term, Honduras will not gain any meaningful benefit from China because the CCP will not provide Honduras with everything they have promised. Honduras will likely end up becoming too reliant on China and later on most likely indebted to China in some shape or form. China might then use this as an opportunity to establish their presence even further in that country by, for example, setting up military bases in that particular country. And this is obviously very bad news for the United States of America due to the close proximity of Honduras to that of the United States. Furthermore, China does not like the DPP, And they will do anything in their power to try and make them look bad, as well as to persuade voters in Taiwan to not vote for the DPP in the next election cycle. So how do they do this? Well, they employ a wide variety of tactics. One of the tactics they could use is to ban exports from Taiwan into China in an attempt to try and persuade the public opinion to do something that they would prefer. When I say they, I mean the CCP. Another thing that they could do is to try and poach Taiwan's diplomatic allies, and they are pretty successful at this, and they've just done this with Honduras, and Honduras is a fantastic example of how China poaches Taiwan's allies and diplomatic partners and gets them to switch their sort of diplomatic relations from Taiwan to China. However, Honduras will find out within the next few years that this was a huge mistake. China always claims Taiwan as its own, but the fact is that the CCP has never ruled even an inch of Taiwan. China also refuses to have any diplomatic relations with any country that has official diplomatic ties with Taiwan or any country that recognizes Taiwan. The reasons as to why this recent decision by Honduras is a huge mistake are as follows. First of all, Taiwan hasn't actually done anything to deserve this sudden change in alliances. This choice by Honduras has shown the world its true colors and given it a bad international reputation. So basically the West now knows where Honduras's heart lies, they know where their motives lie, and they know what they're after. It's actually a very sort of educationally valuable opportunity for a lot of countries to learn about what motivates Honduras and why they do certain things and what we can expect from them in the future going forward. So basically, they have decided to side with a murderous regime for some short-term economic benefits. Taiwan is a stable, trustworthy, and reliable partner, and although having official diplomatic relations with Taiwan is always beneficial for that country, Taiwan cannot always compete economically with China. China is simply just too big. Taiwan has shown the world over and over again that it is willing to help others in need. For example, the support from Taiwan to Ukraine has been substantial. The support from Taiwan to Turkey in the aftermath of the earthquake was quite moving and very significant. Taiwan's warning to the WHO about human-to-human transmission of the virus in the early days of COVID should not be overlooked either. In conclusion, Honduras making the decision to switch its diplomatic relations from Taiwan to China will in fact in the long term have a much more negative impact on Honduras than it will Taiwan. However, Honduras just hasn't realized it yet. Okay everybody, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.